Here's the political brown kid, and I wanted to respond to Monique's just a portion of the interview that she did with Shannon Sharpe on Shannon Sharpe's show. And just to be fair, I have not seen the entire show in its entirety. It's 2 hours long. I sat through the Cat Williams thing. I don't think I'll sit through the Monique thing. But I did see the 15-minute clip that Shannon Sharpe released when she was talking about, I guess, Taraji P. Henson, but she was more or less really kind of touching on why, I guess, Taraji's vocalization of being treated unfairly was more accepted than her. When I say her, I mean Monique's vocalization of her being treated unfairly. Because Monique received a very negative reception from the public, whereas Taraji received a more supportive one. Now, of course, this could be due to a change in time because Monique, that was probably about well over 10 years ago. But Monique did touch on something that is very true. And it is the fact that how you are perceived. And Monique was basically saying because I'm, I guess loud and I call certain people by name, but she most specifically said because I'm a dark-skinned woman. And I guess, she was like, I'm a big dark-skinned woman. So I guess she was referring to her attractiveness. And this is something that is very true. And everybody in the world, regardless of what color you are, you should know. If you do not know this by now, then I feel so sorry for you. But you should know by now that attractiveness definitely plays a part in society. It plays a part in your promotions in your job. It plays a part in how much money you can make. It is definitely a factor. They'll let you know if you're a man and you're a tall man, you're more than less likely to be promoted as manager because you're seen as like an authority power figure. You'll see a lot of attractive women get promoted if they're relatively smart and have some kind of knowledge on the job. If they have some type of, whether it's beauty or sex appeal, they'll get promoted. You see the Instagram people, the people who get followed online are usually the people who people deem to be attractive. So therefore, they're able to monetize better than a lot of other people. Monique touches on this, and it is very true. And what she also touched on too was the colorism thing, which definitely affects Black people. And we're going to talk about colorism. Indians go through colorism as well. You'll see it where the dark-skinned Indians are told they get treated the same way. They try to marry light. They do things the lighter way. Try to lighten up their genetics. Black people have been color struck for a long time due to white people and white people's psychological programming of Black people. And so Monique brought up a good example of the young Black female, and Monique said her name's Claudette Colvin. I know her name's Claudette. I don't know her last name, but Monique says Claudette Colvin. But this was a young woman, and this is why I really don't give Rosa Parks a lot of credit. I try not to talk about Rosa Parks a lot and, give her the accolades that she gets. And it's not that Rosa Parks didn't do anything brave. She did, but it was contrived. People don't understand that whole event was contrived. It wasn't that she just got on the bus and just, oh, I'm so tired, I'm going to sit down. They intentionally planned for her to do that. Her and her organization. I don't know which the organization was. Monique said it was the NAACP. I don't think it was. I think it was Martin Luther King's organization, whatever they were called. I don't know. But it was a young Black female who did it first. She was a dark-skinned female. She was I want to say she was a young single mother. I think she was like 16, 17. I think she was like 16, between 16 and 18, I do believe, or 16 and 19. And she was a dark-skinned female. I think she was from a lower socioeconomic bracket than Rosa Parks. She wasn't as polished. And she sat down. Her event was not contrived. She sat on the bus and got arrested for not sitting where she was supposed to sit. And Martin Luther King and them did not support her. They did not back her. Monique is telling the exact truth on that. I did a video on this. Y'all have to go back into my archives. I talked about this in my earlier post when I first got online and started doing this stuff. She wasn't supported. And then they throw out Rosa Parks, the lighter skinned Black who can pass the brown paper bag and comb test. She has the fairer hair. She has the professional job working for I think it was Martin Luther King's organization or working for one of the advanced, the civil rights organizations, I do believe. And Thus, the movement becomes she gets I guess when she passed away, she got the Lion State at the Capitol, and she gets all of these accolades and goes down in the history books. Where you have this other young black girl, dark skinned black girl, who does not get the recognition she deserves. And I'm bringing this up because of this. We are still hung up. The black community has we've had a long standing, we've never got over this healing of colorism. And it's something that white people have done to us, and we just have not healed from it. Just like we can't get over using the N word. The brother J.R. Wisdom, if you all aren't familiar with J.R. Wisdom's channel, definitely check him out. I don't know, he doesn't know me from a can of paint. Like I told y'all see my channel. I barely have 200 subscribers, and it took me a whole year to get that. Took 2 years. But JR has a very popular channel. His name is JR Wisdom. He's a light-skinned brother, and you can definitely check him out. He just did a video, the week of this. Today is February 11th, so he did this probably a couple of days ago. He just did a video a couple of days ago, and it was basically what light-skinned women think about dark-skinned women. And he touched on the colorism thing. And what he exposed was the same thing I've been saying all along. Cat Williams had even fallen for the color thing. So in the video, what J.R. Wisdom did, he showed a video from, I think her name is Christiane Rock. I don't know. She's dating that dude Blueface. I don't know these people. But she was basically showing how this girl Christiane Rock was, basically using derogatory terms towards dark-skinned girls, taking shot at dark-skinned girls. And I think she showed another video by someone. I think he showed another video by someone else. And it was just providing that supporting factor. I'll even take it a step deeper to piggyback off of what JR did, but I also covered this topic too in my previous videos. Once again, check my archives. You can go back to Cat Williams. Cat Williams used to date a girl on the Love and Hip Hop California, the Love and Hip Hop LA show. I don't know her name. I don't even know why she's on there, how she got to be so popular. I think it was like the first couple of seasons. But she was, he used to date her. I didn't know this, but apparently they got into some kind of beef. They were taking shots back and forth. All I heard was Cat Williams get on the radio and say, "How you going to be light-skinned and ugly?" So basically what he's trying to say is that when you're light-skinned, all light-skinned people are pretty. That's what he inferred to me. When you say, how are you going to be light-skinned and ugly? That's what it inferred to me. And then even her, the woman that he used to date, she had to go on a Iyanla Vanzant's Iyanla Fix My Life show because she was calling dark-skinned girls roaches. Apparently that's a term that light-skinned girls use to, I guess, throw shade at dark-skinned girls and take digs at them. They call them roaches. And she kept calling dark-skinned girls derogatory names. And I think she got kicked off the show for that. And so she went on Iyanla Fix My Life, I guess, to do a PR move and to get herself back in with the black community. But these are what the light-skinned, dark-skinned battles are. And so when you see it in the Spike Lee's movie, what was this? His college movie, School Days. When you see it where you have the jigaboos versus the wannabes, all of this stuff is real. And it just shows you, and you can even look at it today about how light skin and dark skin impacts one another. Let me also give you another example. Look at your very first black president of the United States of America. If you put his resume, and I'm talking about Barack Obama, and this is one of the reasons I did not like Barack Obama. I tolerated Barack. Let me just be honest with y'all. I tolerated him. And I did vote for him, and I voted for him because he was a brother. And at least he had the common sense, unlike Kamala Harris, we're going to talk about her in a minute too. At least he had the common sense to marry a black woman. So that's why I was like, okay, I can rock with Barack. But when you look at Barack Obama, the very first black president that they give you is a mixed, quote unquote, mix. He identifies as black, which is great, but they give you a mixed black. And what did Biden say? What did Joe Biden say during the time? Well, yeah, Barack Obama is light-skinned and articulate, so white people will accept him more. This is not me saying this. I'm paraphrasing, but go look it up. For you people who don't know, look it up. This came out of Joe Biden's mouth. Joe Biden speaks for white people. And I'm not trying to say that he is the official spokesperson, but what I'm trying to let y'all know is that when one white person says something like this, you can best believe this is probably the sentiment of the average white person. That this is what they do. So that came from Joe Biden's mouth. Joe Biden said, we accept Barack, and Barack is palatable over Jesse Jackson, because remember, Jesse Jackson ran in the 80s. Again, Jesse probably ran decades before his time, but Jesse's resume is way better than Barack Obama's when you look at it in terms of being in the fight, as far as putting in the time and effort. And I'm not trying to say that Barack does not deserve it, but what I'm saying is that if you wanted to have a first black president, you could even look at Shirley Chisholm. You can look at all of these people, but Barack got the torch. And sometimes you have to wonder, did his being light-skinned and having a white mother and being raised by his white grandparents play a part in that? Somehow, for me, that diluted a lot, because it seemed like every time they wanted to talk about Barack, they had to mention the whiteness of him. And they always want to make it seem like that's the only way we can exceed and excel, is if there's a white person championing for us, that there's somehow somebody in our history that's white that helped us move along. So that brings me to Kamala Harris. So now, once again, the same joker, we're talking about this old ass president that y'all have in America, Joe Biden. So what did he do? He said when he was running for president during the 2020 elections, when they were doing the Democrat campaign, he said, if I get the nomination, I'm going to put a black woman as my vice president. And so what did he do? He picked the playbook that he himself said about Barack. What did he say about Barack? Barack is light-skinned and articulate, so he's palatable. And so he didn't pick the heavy-set black girl down in Georgia. I forget her name right now off my mouth. He didn't pick her, who just did something miraculous in Georgia. She ran during a time in Georgia when they didn't even think that the Democrats could compete in the South. He didn't pick her because she, quote unquote, her appearance wasn't up to par. She's heavy set, she's brown skinned, she has the frizzy hair, and she has the gap in her tooth. And I'm not trying to put her down. I'm just giving y'all a perspective of how the media is looking at her. And so he said, nope, not picking her. He could have picked 1,000 other black females to run with him, but he picked a light-skinned black who's quote unquote articulate. She's light-skinned, she's married to a white man. And also, just to throw this in too, did y'all notice that when Kamala Harris was running during the 2019, when they were having the campaigns, when they were having the Democratic debates during the 2019-2020, election cycle, notice how the story leaked about her having an affair, and they had to let you know that it was a black man that she was having an affair with. This story, go look it up. If y'all think I'm lying, look this stuff up. They said that she was having an affair with some black guy. I forget what his position was, but this was when she was, I think, the attorney general or whatever down in San Fran, when she was working in San Francisco. They had to let y'all know, because what they were trying to do is they were trying to shore up her blackness. Like, we know she with a white man now, but she do date and sleep with black men. They letting y'all know just so we can accept her. She couldn't even come out of her mouth when they asked her what her race was to say that she was black. But once again, here it is. We get these diluted blacks that come in, and once again, it's now we have to look at it and say, well, she's part black. They played up her Indian heritage more than they did her black background. If y'all noticed, when they first ran the election and won, they propped her up more as an Indian American than they did as a black woman. And then she's holding hands and being with this white man. Once again, it's the dilution of us. So when you hear somebody like Monique say this, it is very true. Your appearance, and now I'm going to get outside of race for a second, but I have to say this. People don't understand your appearance is everything. Your appearance, I mean, trust me, I am a victim of it. I used to do it when I was younger, and I'm pretty sure I still do it now. Let somebody cut you off in while they're driving. You'll be mad as hell, and if you see that person's a cute person, if you're attracted to that person, like, damn, oh, that was a fine girl that cut me off. Your anger tones down, and you become a little bit more. Oh, okay. Let somebody need help, and you see that it's a beautiful woman, and see how much assistance she gets as opposed to a woman that we find less attractive. These are how these women advance themselves. They use their sex appeal, and I'm focused on women right now, so women don't take this to heart. I'm only speaking about it because I know this from a man's perspective. Y'all look at who used to run Jay-Z's company. It was a black female. She just left. Once again, passes the brown paper bag test, passes the comb test. You look at all of these black females that rise to these positions of power, because especially when we're talking about the media world, looks are everything. They always get the female that's, she's quote unquote exotic looking. She's light skinned. She has naturally curly hair, finer hair. And these females can latch on and they can navigate and network better than a female that's less attractive, because a guy is going to immediately start thinking with his other head, and he's going to give her a shot and an opportunity because she's pretty. And females know when to play up their sexuality to get what they want. And so, and I can't, and the reason why I'm using, and so females, like I said, don't get mad at me because I'm only speaking from a male perspective, but I don't know if females operate in the same capacity. I don't know if y'all give guys a chance because, he's attractive or not. But attractiveness, but definitely guys even do it with other guys, and girls do it with other girls, where you want to hang around the person that's beautiful. You want to associate yourself with beauty and handsomeness, and you do those type of things. So those people are able to navigate more. So that's why when you see people like Monique speaking while they speak and then getting blackballed for decades, she's not lying. But we lie to ourselves all the time by saying race has nothing to do with this, or beauty has nothing to do with this, or colorism has nothing to do with this. You're a liar, because I can honestly say that it does happen. And I know that it does happen. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. This is the Political Brown Kid. If you have any comments, want to refute anything I said, or if you want to add to it, definitely feel free to drop some comments in the comment section. Also, definitely hit the like and subscribe button. But once again, this is the Political Brown Kid. I'm out.